This and every episode of REKT Podcast is brought to you by Beaksy Exchange, an upcoming cryptocurrency exchange built in collaboration with One Market Data. Beaksy is bringing legacy finance speed, power, and sophistication to crypto for the first time. With 225,000 transactions per second per pair, comparable to NASDAQ, 15 order types on day one, with 25 order types on full rollout, and a dedicated customer support team, Beaksy is setting itself apart from the competition. Check out Beaksy today at Beaksy.com and pre-register today at Beaksy.com/registration to get your free Beaksy Exchange tokens. That's Beaksy.com, BEAXY.com.
I'm Crypto Chamber, and we're back!
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host who I dearly missed on this week hiatus, Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I missed you too. I've been so sad. I was so, when we started talking about taking a break for a week, I was like, yeah, you know what? We've been going nonstop, and I think a break is needed. I think after one day, I was just like, we gotta do something. I'm losing my mind. So I'm happy to be back. You've been doing some pretty crazy things. We were talking off air, and your week off was definitely not a week off.
No, it was not. It was a bunch who goes to corporate training and sits in a classroom for 11 hours a day and has his bowel movements planned for him and his meals planned for him. And so that was my week off. So I'm glad to be back in the freedom of my own society here. And we've got some fun stuff coming up today. We also will have a guest episode coming out this week as well. We were supposed to have a very special guest, Fluffy Pony, on today, but we have to reschedule that, but it's coming.
Yeah, so, he lives in like another world in South Africa.
So where do fluffy ponies live?
I think only in South Africa.
Imagination land, I think. Imagination. Anyway, all right, so let's kick this thing off. You know that I am a sports fan, and you are too. You're a big NBA basketball fan.
Definitely a big NBA basketball fan. Not this year, apparently. My year fell apart real quick there over the last month and a half.
It sure did. But I am a huge college sports fan, and this time of year, we are coming up on the week, one of my favorite weeks of the year, which is March Madness. And I am obsessed with March Madness. In fact, so obsessed, in fact, that the last couple years I've gone to Vegas for the first weekend of the tournament.
Really?
And I usually, if I'm not out there, I at least take off for the first 2 days of the tournament to sit in front of my TV and watch every matchup. So instead of doing the typical March Madness bracket, we have decided to run our own fun version of a March Madness bracket. We are calling it REKT Podcast's Crypto Madness Bracket. So, Chamber, we're excited about this.
I was really excited. So you had mentioned this, and you mentioned maybe a week ago, kind of in passing, and then after you got back from your business vacation, you really hit the pedal hard on it, and you produced some content very quickly. I was very excited yesterday. So you sent me the bracket itself, and it's a nice March Madness style bracket. And the only difference is, as opposed to obviously college basketball teams, it's all cryptocurrencies. And I started filling that thing out, and just giddy. This was so much fun.
It's fun, right?
It was a blast filling this thing out. So I have some pretty, questionable picks. I like to mix it up a little bit. So I have some questionable picks going deep into the into the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. So we'll see. I think my champion is going to be interesting too.
So I do this every year with my normal March Madness bracket. I will fill one out immediately when the bracket comes out, and I tinker from now until Thursday, and I hate my bracket. It's basically an exercise in self-loathing. It's just how terrible I feel about my picks that day, and then come Thursday, it's all locked in, and I can't change anything, and it's just up to fate. So I did the same thing yesterday with this bracket. I filled it out immediately, and then there was one matchup that I was like, man, this could go either way. And once I picked the winner of that matchup, there was no way I could get away from them. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't find them losing after that. And so I ended up with something I hate in the top, in the Elite Eight. So I'm going to have to go back and play with mine a little bit. But let's get into the rules first. So here's what we're going to do. So we want to actually make this something that everyone can participate in and follow along with. So we're actually going to release this podcast today, Monday, a day early, because we're going to start this thing on Tuesday. So first and foremost, whenever you are listening to this, if you want to participate, get your picks in to us by about noon or 1 o'clock-ish on Tuesday. That would be March 19th, Tuesday. So the way we're going to release this is it's all going to be voted on by Twitter. So we're going to release each of these matchups in the bracket based on Twitter polls. And so the polls will each run for 1 day. And so we're going to
doing 12 hours or 24 hours?
We're going to do 24 hours. So
okay.
it works out. So if we do a bracket, or if we do a region Tuesday, a region Wednesday, a region Thursday, and a region Friday, that'll set us up to have round 2 in coinciding with the tournament for,
nice.
We'll do the Tuesday and Wednesday brackets on Saturday and the Thursday and Friday on Sunday, and we'll be right in line with the actual tournament. So when basketball is going on, there will be crypto voting going on, and that's how we're going to run this.
It's exciting.
So when you think about filling out your bracket, if you are going to play along with us, you are gambling on pure Twitter sentiment and speculation on what you think is going to be the popular.
This is the most degenerate gambling you can do.
It really is, because it just depends on who is feeling what during that day, and maybe somebody's going to vote a way they normally wouldn't just to say fuck you, and it's going to be fun. So the second round is going to run Saturday and Sunday, and it'll keep going from there. So the way the scoring will work, I'm just going to use standard ESPN scoring, which is 10 points per first round, 20 for the second round, 40 for the third, 80 for the fourth. Your final 4 will be worth 160, and if you have the champion, you will get 320 points. So you have some, it puts some weight on getting the right picks late. So we're going to do that, and we are going to do a little buy-in here. If you want to participate, we're going to do 0.1 ETH per bracket, max 3 bracket entries. So that means, what's that? ETH's right, like what, 140? So
yeah, so it's like $14.
So it's like $14. So if you got some extra throw around cash from this, I
think my wife's gonna do one. I told her.
Yes, mini alt season that we just had this last week, apparently. So
yeah,
that happened while I was gone. So you can get your brackets in. What we will ask is DM us at the REKT Podcast one or myself or Chamber, and we will send you not only the form to fill out with your bracket, but also the Ethereum address to send it to us, so that we can't really put it out in public on, I thought about doing a Google sheet, and then I was like, some asshole is just going to change it to their ETH address, and,
right,
and we won't get anything.
You're much smarter than I am.
Right, so I thought about it, and I was like, that is a clear problem. And then mark your brackets with your Twitter handle, and that's how we will identify you, and we'll pay out, normal first, second, third type of payouts. So we've already got a couple people, a bunch of people interested. I talked to 3 or 4 yesterday that I know are definitely going to play. Now we're going to put this out. Hopefully it'll go out to a bunch of people today.
Right.
And I think it could be fun. So either way, we encourage you to vote and retweet these polls to see what the Twitter sentiment is. There's some awesome matchups, and we're going to go through them right now. So, Chamber, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to read the matchups in one bracket, then we'll swipe to you, and then back to me, and then the fourth bracket. So, as these are typically identified in real life, it's like the north, the south, the east, the west bracket. But we've got the Bunchu bracket, the Chamber bracket, the Cynthia bracket, and the Beaksy bracket because they are our sponsors. So I'm going to go through the Bunchu bracket right now. So I'm going to read you by seed the matchup, and throw a little thoughts in there. You don't have to put in who you picked or anything because we don't want people stealing your picks. But
my picks are gold too. You can have mine.
So here we go. In the Bunchu region, we have number 1 overall seed Bitcoin taking on Status Network, the number 16 seed. So that's who Bitcoin draws in the first round.
Smell that?
Yeah. Yeah, right. No way. So just one more note here on how this was set up. So I basically just took the top 64 coins in order on CoinMarketCap and seeded them that way as if I was seeding the tournament based on their seeds or based on their CoinMarketCap rank. So if there's matchups you think are out of whack, vote that way, but don't kill the committee. It's literally ranked by where their spot was yesterday on CoinMarketCap. So here's and then the next in the Bunchu region, the 8-9 matchup, True USD with the 8th seed is taking on one of our good friends, Marco Piraboom's Decred. So, True USD, the stablecoin, I think is a heavy underdog versus Decred.
I don't know how stablecoins are going to fare out in this bracket.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what the I'm dying to see what the sentiment is on a lot of these things. So, the 5-12 matchup in this bracket is Maker versus Theta, the 12 seed. I don't know anything about Theta.
No.
Do you?
No. No, I don't.
Okay, so that's an interesting one. That's a 5-12. The 14 versus 13 matchup, we have Neo versus Nano, which could be an interesting one.
I think that's a good matchup.
That could be ripe for upset. I don't know. But then moving right along, the 6th seed in this region is a pretty strong region. Stellar Lumens is the 6th seed versus Hubie Token. Hubie Lewis in the news?
Yeah.
what? How do you say it?
Huobi.
Yeah. Huobi one. Moving down, we have number 3 seed in this bracket, Waves Platform, taking on a very popular double-digit 14 seed Holochain, or HOT, as you may know it by the ticker. So I think that's an interesting.
I think both of those are pretty popular. I know you see a lot of Waves on Twitter, so we'll see.
Then we have another stable coin here in this bracket as the 7 seed. We're going Tether here with the USDT ticker versus Sia Coin, an oldie but a goodie. So let's see there what happens. We could be ripe for an upset here too. I'm not sure what the sentiment will be. The 2-15 matchup. We have number 2 seed in the Bunchu region, VeChain, or VET as the symbol goes, versus Ziliqua, which is a very popular one, I know. So that rounds out the Bunchu bracket. So again, we have Bitcoin versus Status, True USD versus Decred, Maker versus Theta, Neo versus Nano, Stellar versus Huobi, Waves versus Holochain, Tether versus Sia Coin, VeChain versus Ziliqua.
Ooh, that's tough. So, okay, starting off in my bracket, number 1, Ethereum versus number 16, Aurora, which is the IDEX coin.
That's actually an interesting first round matchup. You got Ethereum versus decentralized exchange. I mean,
that could be a bracket buster right there.
It sure could.
The second matchup is Omise Go versus Lisk.
So that's the 8-9.
That's
matchup.
The 8-9 matchup. That one's pretty good. The 5-12 matchup on my bracket is Dash at 5 versus Engine Coin at 12. I think that could be a possible.
That's interesting too. Engine is getting lots of attention right now.
Lots of attention right now.
Yeah, so it may be hot
That's what I loved about this.
Coming into the tournament hot.
So many upset possibilities. The 413, I got Ontology at 4 versus Bitcoin Diamond at 13. 611, we have the Binance coin at 6. I think that one's going to be a big player. Versus Bytem, BTM at 11. And then the 314 matchup is Doge versus Icon. I don't know. I think
that's setting up potentially for a Binance Doge second round matchup.
Unbelievable! If Doge wins, it has to be a trading pair on Binance. We'll have to tag CZ on that one.
I like that. This next one is good too.
This next one is my favorite one. The 710 matchup: Tron versus Verge. I texted you right away. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's a Tron Verge in the first round. So I think that one's great. And then to finish up my bracket, or my area, I should say, is the 215.
The chamber region.
The chamber region is Tezos at number 2 versus 0x at 15. Again, another...
Also an interesting
That's a very interesting matchup, yep. So, I don't know. We'll see. I love... We got lots of upset possibilities so far.
Yeah, in your area specifically, because there's no fucking stable coins.
No, yeah, you had like 3 in yours.
I know. And then the Cynthia region has some also that I just some things I've never even heard of. That is surprising that they're in the top 64 of cryptocurrencies. Right. It's so I'll go back here.
Well, I think a lot has to do with it because the overall market cap's so low. And if anything pumps, it's kind of easy to get into the top 100. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think once we start getting more money, maybe it'll start to even out a little bit.
Very interesting. So now we're going down into the bottom left-hand corner of your bracket here, the Cynthia region. Her number 1 overall seed in this region, Litecoin, versus number 16 seed, IOST. That could be interesting.
That's a tricky one too.
Yeah, I don't really know much about IOST, but
I know the sentiment on Litecoin's not great.
Right, exactly. That could be. We could have a 116 matchup upset in our first year, which has never happened before in the real tournament except for until last year.
That's right.
And all right, so at the 8-9 matchup, we have Bitcoin Gold as the 8 seed versus Digibyte, the 9 seed. So that's an interesting one. I was gonna ask Fluffy Pony what he thought of his region here. We have the number 5 seed Monero taking on Eternity as the 12 seed. Then we go to the 4-13 matchup. NEM comes in at number 4 seed versus the BitTorrent, very popular right now, BTT token. That has potential for an upset, I think,
definitely.
as well. Then we have the 6-11. EOS comes in at 6 versus number 11, DAI, D-A-I as the ticker.
Is that a stablecoin?
I think it's part of the Maker project. I'm not sure, but both are ranked in the top 64, so they both earned a place here. This 3-14 matchup, I have no fucking clue what's going to happen. I mean, I don't even know what this other thing is.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what that one is.
The 3 seed in this bracket, just based on how the ranks came out in the CoinMarketCap, was USD coin, so that's USDC, versus the 14 ABBC coin, which I've never heard of in my life. Do you know what that is?
I thought for a moment it was the Bitcoin Cash ABC.
It is
but I think that's still BCH, right?
Yes, it is something completely different.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
No idea what it is. So it'll be interesting for that specific matchup because it's going to be stablecoin versus something probably not a lot of people know what it is.
Right.
So that'll be interesting. Then we have number 7, Bitcoin SV. So the Satoshi's Vision version of Bitcoin Cash is ranked as a 7 seed versus Paxos Standard, which Pax is another stablecoin.
Yeah, definitely another.
Man, these stablecoins are just taking over the top 64 here. So that's the 710, and then you have Zcash versus Bytecoin in the 2-15 matchup. So Zcash comes in as the 2 ranked seed there. So again, Litecoin, your number 1 overall seed in that region. The number 2, Zcash. Number 3, USD Coin. Number 4, NEM. Number 5, Monero. So that's your top 5 rankings in that region. And then we'll kick us off to the last region.
So the Beaksy region, we were talking about a 116 upset. It could happen in the Beaksy region.
It sure could.
At number 1, we got XRP versus Ravencoin at 16.
Very popular.
Wow. That's gonna be a big one.
Especially I feel like with our audience, because we have some people that have particularly loved Ravencoin.
They sure did. So that, I don't know, that one's very, very tricky for me. The 8-9 matchup is Qtum versus Chainlink. I feel like that's a toss-up. I don't know which way that one's going to go. Like most 8-9 matchups.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So at the 5-12 matchup, we have IOTA at the 5 versus Komodo at 12. Komodo's been very popular lately.
That could be, they're usually in the tournament. There's 1-12-5
the 12,
upset.
Absolutely.
Yep,
that could
there's
be it
1-12-5 upset. That could be there. That could be it.
I'm so excited for this. So the 4-13, we have Ethereum Classic. The ugly stepchild of crypto versus BitShares at 13. That one could go either way, I think. The 6-11 matchup, we got Bitcoin Cash, which I believe is the ABC version.
That's like straight up still old school Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Yeah.
Right, so that's interesting. At number 6 versus Stratus.
I guess, wait, unless those are the same thing. Is ABC
that's what I'm thinking.
The same thing
ABC is Bcash, yeah.
Okay, so then that is correct. It's whatever the ticker BCH is now belonging to.
Right. The 3-14 matchup.
Wait, who was the 11 there?
Sorry, they're going against Stratus, ticker Strat.
Interesting.
The 3-14 matchup, we have Basic Attention Token versus Augur. 2 pretty popular tokens. 7-10, we have Cardano.
This one I couldn't get away from my pick on. I hated it.
This one's a tough one. Cardano at 7 versus Pundi X at 10. Yeah, that's a tough one. And one of my favorite ones, this is one of those ones that, because of, I think, where the overall market cap is, just shot up the ranks real quick because of volume.
Never heard of this before.
I've been watching this maybe for 2 days. And then I saw it on the crypto.com chain, CRO.
Can you tell me what it is?
I don't know what it is. I know it's got a ton of volume on Bittrex right now. I think it's the number 1 volume token on Bittrex right now. So, and they're going against Steam.
They shot so far up the rankings that they earned themselves a 2 seed in this tournament.
Which is
the way
bananas.
they are ranked. It's insane.
So crypto.com chain, ticker CRO versus Steam at the number 15. So lots of good stuff here. I don't know. I'm pretty excited.
You want to give away any of your nuggets here?
I won't tell you what I did, but I have a double-digit rank going to the Final Four.
I have a mid to high. I have a mid seed in the Final Four. I have 2 mid seeds in the Final Four. I have a very high seed, and I have actually, it's interesting. I have like a 1 seed, and then I have nothing lower than a 3. Or, sorry, nothing lower than a 5 the rest of the way.
Right.
As it sits right now. I don't know how that's going to change. There's one bracket that I want to blow up and start over. 3 of them I feel pretty good about where I am, but the one bracket.
Yeah, I got a teen. I got a teen in the Final Four.
You have a teen in the Final Four?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm trying to think about like what it could be.
Yeah. I like it.
Wow.
I think that one's gonna do well. That's gonna be the make or break for me.
Wow, that's interesting. The teen and I'm trying to pick out where I think it might be now that I will say I think there could be the one thing I'm super nervous about is the second round matchup for Bitcoin. If it goes the way I think it's going to go, I mean, I think Bitcoin will handle status, and then I think Decred will handle True USD. But if you're giving me a Bitcoin Decred second round matchup, I'm not sure what Twitter's going to do with it.
Bitcoin could go at any point. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So, so I'm not too confident in that pick because Decred could be the upset. I think if it gets past Decred, it'll go. But,
I agree.
We'll see. But that's so hopefully you enjoyed hearing this and you want to play along with us. Again, just shoot us a DM on either Telegram or any of our Twitters, and we will have the form for you to fill out with the rules and the Ethereum address. So I'm excited to kick that off tomorrow. Try to get everything into us by no later than 1:00 p.m. on Tuesday tomorrow. So we're going to put this podcast out actually a day early so that people can listen to it and decide if they want to be in. But yeah, any final thoughts here?
Just great job, considering you put this together in less than 12 hours.
It was a lot of work, actually.
It was a lot of work, so very good job. We appreciate it because it was way more fun than I thought it was going to be. Because you said, I was like, it'll be fun. And it was 10 times more fun than I was expecting.
And just wait, it hasn't even started yet. Wait till the polls start going out. And
now I'm really pumped.
People start pandering for their picks.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We have no idea what the possibilities are. You get
exactly.
Maybe Nita Coin starts playing, and then he just uses his following to shift
to shift an entire bracket. Oh, God. See, that's the thing. So just make sure you realize if you do play and you put your 0.1 ETH that anything can happen.
Anything possible.
And if something like that does happen, it could potentially be,
devastating,
right? So you are clearly just gambling on crypto Twitter and all. Yeah,
this is the best form of gambling you could be doing.
Yeah, it's like even more layered. It's like roulette, but even more layered.
That's right.
But anyway, all right, that's going to do it for our bracket segment. We will give an update on where we stand later in the week, but not on the podcast likely because we are recording our later in the week one today as well. So. But we might pop in for some announcements or anything like that. But in the meantime, let's get to the news. Chamber Buddy, let's kick us off here.
All right. Straight from ccn.com. Sleeping with the enemy. Why institutional adoption is bad for Bitcoin. I've heard this narrative a couple of times. I'm not 100% sure where I fall on it yet. If recent noises coming out of Wall Street are anything to go by, it looks like 2019 is shaping up to be the year of institutions for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. However, the arrival of the institutions as they stampede over the hill represents a double-edged sword of sorts. On the one hand, prices will almost certainly pump in the short to medium term, even by just association alone. But on the other hand, we appear to be in the process of welcoming into our beds the very enemy that cryptocurrency was set up to defeat, the old deep-rooted bloodlines of the financial elite. So
juicy.
Very juicy. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's what cryptocurrency was created for, or, created due to the last financial crisis we had in 2007, 2008, kind of blossomed out of that. What are your thoughts on it? I'm not sure where I feel yet.
Well, I mean, I think it's necessary evil almost, but I feel like when you're talking about things like Bitcoin per se, there's still, I mean, it's not going to be able to be controlled like the banks are.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. Is there a way for the financial institutions to...
Well, I think you're seeing it with JPM coin and
right.
Like, I think that's the thing. That's going to be their attempt. It's not.
But the way I see that is more like intranet versus internet. You know what I mean?
Correct. 100%. I'm with you.
So, I don't think there's anything they can
That's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah, like I don't think there's anything they can really do to change Bitcoin. I mean, it is what it is, and that's obviously the big player. So if they want to get involved with blockchain, I think that's different. But I don't think there's anything they can actually do to change, what Bitcoin set off to do 10 years ago.
I agree, and that is going to lead me into my piece here, also from ccn.com. The headline reads, Bitcoin will replace gold as the store of value by 2040, says Block One CEO. So, Brad Bloomer from Block.one, and he's the Block One CEO, has obviously extremely high expectations for Bitcoin, saying over the next 2 decades, Bitcoin will replace gold as the leading commodity to store value. So this is interesting. We've heard, in the past that if you've seen the comparisons that if Bitcoin were able to get a 20% share of what gold's market cap is, what it would be worth. And I think that's where you're getting. I've seen a lot of 300,000 price points listed lately as what it could do, and that kind of depends on what he's saying right here, right? So I like
the I forget his name now. I wasn't on that episode. J.W. Weatherman, W.J. Weatherman.
Yeah, J.W.
J.W. But didn't he put out a number? I was listening to that.
He said 10 million.
I thought he said like a crazy number.
He said 10 million.
Like 10 John McAfee penises.
Yeah, right. That's what that's worth.
That's a lot. That's a lot of cake.
That'll be 10 McAfees, sir.
Yeah, that's a big number. I mean, if anybody holds like one Bitcoin.
Well, that's what I always tell people that are like either new or, what should my target be or whatever. I always say get to one. Hold one at the very least. Hold one. And so, people think I'm crazy all the time. Like regular people think I'm crazy all the time about Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, you're going to lose all your money. I'm like, if you buy one Bitcoin, you're not going to... Right. It's not going to break your financial future. But it may make it.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, I'm the poster boy for I'm not financially wrecked. I mean,
in your personal life.
In my personal life, but yeah, right. You can get into crypto. Don't mortgage your house or anything like that. That's probably bad, but. Even if it goes bad, and it went bad for me, like when I got in at the top, it went down real fast. But at the end of the day, I'm still in it, and food can still be purchased at the grocery store, and it's not all that bad. And it's definitely something that you can put some money into, and not worry about necessarily, mortgaging your future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it could pay huge dividends for your future.
Correct. That's what I mean. So say it gets to, 10 John McAfee penises, you hold one. You now have $10 million.
One John McAfee penis.
Even if it goes to one McAfee.
Yeah,
even if it goes to one McAfee. That's the average person, if you made $100,000 a year, would take you 10 years to make that. You know what I mean? So I think at this price, it's a worthy gamble. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, big time.
But I like the other things in this article. The article opens up by saying gold, Bitcoin, TY Beanie Babies. What do these commodities all have in common? They're all a store of value in some way. Some TY toys are worth more than $500,000 in the proper set. First of all, I don't know who's buying $500,000 sets of TY Beanie Babies, but they'll probably say the same thing about us and our McAfees.
So my wife going through her old stuff, like my wife, if it wasn't for me, would 100% be a hoarder. And we were going, I don't know, maybe 6-7 months ago. She was going through some of her stuff at her parents' house, and she found this Millennium Beanie Baby.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And she's like, I think this is worth a lot of money. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, all right, let's take a look at this. And I don't know, like there were certain ones that were worth, like, $50,000-$60,000, maybe, I think you said there's some that are $500,000. But yeah, I did a little research into it. And I mean, there is a ton of money out there for Beanie Babies, which blows my mind. I didn't sell
people
this
keep
one,
comparing us to Beanie Babies, so
it's pretty crazy.
I think I still have my Beanie Babies from way back when, but I'll have to check those out. But another cool part of this story is it talks about what makes Bitcoin an excellent store of value. It says Bitcoin is an intangible asset which is easily transferred. BTC can be traded in minutes, experiences volatility, and has a limited total supply. Scarcity and ease of transfer make Bitcoin a great store of value. Scarcity limits its utilitarian value of the cryptocurrency. So that's kind of saying, hey, it's better store of value than it is utility. But institutions have begun vying for control of Bitcoin to reap the profits for more traditional investors. In the wake of crypto speculators sending the price to the moon and back. Some of the other things about this is 25%, they say, of all Bitcoin have been lost already. So when you think about what that's going to do...
25%?
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. I mean, think about there's 2 million that are just sitting in a Satoshi's wallet.
Right.
So those are quote unquote lost, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't even go, I mean, there's probably way more that people, you've heard the stories that people have just lost their computers or their hard drives or whatever.
So I mean, could we realistically be talking about maybe 15 million total?
I totally think that's probably appropriate. Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah, and the big thing is it's government resistant, it is unconfiscatable, and I think those things are, make it really, really strong as a store of value. I mean, gold, our government basically said, hey, we're taking away the gold standard, so they took away your gold, essentially. So gold was not government resistant. So, Anyway, do we have one more story here?
Yeah, we do.
Before we get cracking, do you have it?
Yeah, I have it here. Okay. Cryptocurrency heartthrob Mark Karpeles.
Would you call him that? Is that what we're calling him? I mean, I don't really know what the sentiment is around this guy. In my opinion, my opinion may be different from others.
It's the before and after for me. It's the big chunky guy going into prison now. He was a 3 going in, now he's a 6.5. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
So, but Mt. Gox, Mark Karpeles, may avoid jail time, but class action lawsuit remain. So Mark Karpeles, the former CEO of the defunct Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox, may eventually avoid jail time following the suspended sentence he received from Tokyo court, but his legal troubles are far from over. Earlier this week, Karpeles failed to have a U.S. class action suit in which he is a defendant dismissed. This was after a court in Illinois, a state where around 1.5% of the Mt. Gox victims hail from. That's interesting.
Well, I guess Chicago is a pretty big crypto hub, so that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
They ruled that were legal grounds to go ahead with the case. So there's a tweet here from ccn.com. Illinois judge blocks Mt. Gox CEO's bid to weasel out of Bitcoin.
That's not editorialized at all.
I thought it was a typo. I'm like, nope, that says weasel out. To weasel out of Bitcoin trader lawsuit. That's interesting. The Illinois aspect of this, but you're 100% right. We got a lot of people in Chicago.
So it says here prosecutors had sought out a 10-year sentence for him, and the Tokyo court handed him 30 months. And this was on tampering charges with Mt. Gox records, but not on embezzlement, which is interesting. So he may or may not still go to prison. If you have some serious interest in all of the things going on with Mt. Gox, Peter McCormick, friend of our show at What Bitcoin Did, just put out his Mt. Gox series where he literally went and he actually interviewed Mark Karpeles, as well as Jed McCaleb, the Brock Pierce interview, which was very, awesome. Very, very feisty. That was crazy.
That was a good interview. That was must-hear radio, must-hear podcasting.
As well as some others that he interviewed about Mount Gox. So if you haven't checked that out yet, check it out. It was fascinating for me, having not been around during that time, but knowing a little bit of the story to, kind of get it unwound there, which was pretty cool. But so check that out if you haven't yet.
That was a lot of work by Peter, too.
That was no doubt.
Didn't he fly to Japan to get the Karpeles interview, too?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So check it out. Worth your time, I think, especially if you're just driving around or whatever. But anyway, that's going to do it for the news. We are going to visit the REKT index.
Brutal, savage, REKT.
Before I get into the REKT index, could you imagine the Mark Karpeles heartthrob meeting the heartthrob that is Peter McCormick in one room? That's fantastic. So REKT index is looking pretty good. You want to take a guess what we're up in BTC value? We won't talk USD for the time being.
BTC value.
What do you think we're up?
Give me a 30%.
62%.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really?
62%.
Damn.
So USD, we're only down 7.5%.
Wow, we've done well.
Considering our BTC is down 44%.
The actual dollar amount.
Right. So we're down. So like when we first transfer all these funds into the account, the BTC portion is down 44%.
So we've made all but 7 back in these other tokens. So obviously our biggest winner up 2400% in BTC is Quant. It's a big win there. Yeah. Still not selling Quant, by the way.
Still not selling Quant, but other ones, Tomo Chain up 255%, Raven Coin 244%, Binance Coin up 153%, Basic Attention Token almost at 100%, Wax is up 40%.
We've been having alt season the whole time.
Yeah. So down at the bottom, and by the way, I switched from Blockfolio to Delta. And my ability to read these is significantly better. I don't know. Blockfolio looks great, but I don't know. I think I'm just more at home with Delta. Down at the bottom of the list.
You hear that, Delta? If you're listening,
hook us up.
Yeah.
I'll talk about you all day. Down at the bottom, XDNA, I think is a usual suspect down here at the bottom. It's down almost 82%.
Yeah, we'll give that one the benefit of the doubt, since I believe that was a walk-in mining play.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
So
you never know what'll happen with it.
That's what happens with those mining ones. Mm-hmm. It's like that all of a sudden may just 10x overnight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And we'd only be down 10%. Z Classic down at the bottom, down 75%. Hero Node down 71%.
Now that's different from Hero.
Correct. Hero Node. This is HER, not HXRO.
Which I'm still crushing, by the way. I am up to 18th on the leaderboard.
Ooh, you're in some pretty popular company there.
Oh yeah, let's look at those leaderboards real quick, because
who's up in there?
I can give a casual gloat. Hold on, let me just.
Who are you beating?
Who am I beating? Well, you've stopped playing. I've since surpassed you.
Yeah.
The top of the leaderboard is Mike at double spending.
He's number one right now?
Yeah, his net winnings, 377,000 Hero, which, just to give you an idea, listening at home, I know we talk about Hero a lot, but it's so much fun. Hero's worth 8 cents a token. So if you do that math, that's some serious cash.
1 second here.
377,500 times 0.08.
$30,200.
That's insane.
That is bananas.
Coming in second place here on the leaderboard.
That's a Prius.
Yeah, no kidding. Ledger is ranked second with 321,000 net winnings, followed by Sicarius, and then there's a pretty significant drop-off. That's the 300K club, and then there's a drop-off to 255K, and that's our buddy Crypto Dale, killing it.
He's been in the top 5 since
the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah. Then you got Sugar Bear, Hulk Hobo there, Shooter McDarren. I don't know who K Dog Daddy is.
I think that's K Dog Daddy is what's his name? Shit. I'll come back to it.
Good one. Kenneth Carson at 9 and Jacob Canfield at 10, and then you get to who I don't know who this is, but their username is Nuriel Robini at 11.
I've seen that one on there. I don't know who that is either. That's good
and
stuff.
And then Zach Vole is number 12. You got Prince at 13. Wow,
he's always been in the mix too. I think there are a bunch of degenerates over there at Crypto Street.
Hayes at 14. Then Neetacoin at 15. Kyle Z at 16, Broker Trading at 17, Bitcoin Karate at 18, and your boy Bunchu has fallen to 19.
Bitcoin Karate better watch the fuck out.
He better. I am on his tail. I'm like 1,000 behind him, so I can make that up today. So you haven't played in like months.
I haven't probably played in about a month.
You are still ranked 27.
No big deal. I was really killing it though. I was in the top 5 for a little bit.
Yeah, so, but you're still up there. But I'm getting there. I'm trying to climb the ranks, baby, so we'll see. But anyway, shout out to our friends at Hero, because I'm addicted still. I didn't get to play all last week, so that's what I'm contributing it to, because I was in corporate prison.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it's the worst Ernest movie. Ernest goes to corporate prison. You ever watch those Ernest movies?
Are you kidding me? That's my favorite. That was my favorite. I love that. Remember the hand signals from the two guys?
Yes. What was your favorite? I think Ernest does.
I think
Halloween one.
Scared Stupid. Yeah, with the trolls.
Stupid. Yeah.
That was. I think the production value in that one was better than anything.
Ernest Goes to Prison.
Slam Dunk Ernest was a good one for me. I like that one.
Ernest Goes to Corporate Prison is a new one we're going to redo. But anyway.
Hey, Vern.
Poor Vern.
Hey, Vern, you ever heard of Synergy?
Oh, boy.
Got to change the paradigm, Vern.
R.I.P. Ernest, because he's been dead since like 2000, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, poor
Ernest didn't get his millennial movie.
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, all right, that's going to do it for us. Just a reminder, join us in our Telegram at t.me/rekt_podcast. Follow us on Twitter at rekt_podcast. Get at us in the DMs. We want you to play the bracket challenge with us. So, again, if you're listening to this on Monday, get your stuff in by Tuesday. And other than that, any last words?
No, just come take my money. Come take my bracket money.
Come take his bracket money. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board here. But anyway, other than that, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.